So if you found this video, it probably means that you are searching for information about pregnancy, labor, childbirth, and there is a lot of information out there. And it can become very overwhelming to sift through and figure out what's good information, what's worth your time, and not just getting completely overwhelmed by the sheer amount of information that can be found out there. So I thought in this video I could put together a list of resources that are high quality that I recommend, and the best part about them, or an exciting part about them, is that they are all 100% free. So I want to share some resources with you today, and then at the end I have a warning about a very popular resource that you might be tempted to check out, and it comes with a disclaimer. So if we haven't met in real life, my name is Alice Turner. I am a birth doula, a Lamaze certified childbirth educator, and on this channel I talk about birth. So if that is a topic that interests you, hit that subscribe button so you'll be notified when the next video comes out. So I'm going to go through 3 online classes, 1 set of handouts, 2 podcasts, and 1 awesome resource for postpartum. Now, don't feel like you have to take down all the information, because below in the description I will have links to each of the resources. Okay, the first of the 3 resources that I'm going to share are all online classes. Online classes are a great way to get more in-depth information. They can be used as a substitute for in-person classes if in-person classes are not available, though they are different from in-person classes. So they aren't necessarily always going to be the best substitute, but these are 3 good ones that I think you should check out. The first online class for you to look at is called How to Make a Birth Plan That Actually Works. So I really like this class because it was created by an OBGYN. And who knows better than what birth plans are effective and have really insider tips for you than an OBGYN. So Dr. Nicole Calloway Rankins is the creator of this class. It takes you about an hour start to finish. So Dr. Rankins really helps you walk through this process in a very smart, organized way. So make sure you check that out. I highly recommend it. I think it's a great resource. The second class is called Birth A to Z, and it's put together from a collection of 100 short form videos that can be found on YouTube. We've organized all those videos into an online course, and it's a little bit different than just the YouTube videos. So inside Birth A to Z, each of the topics is organized in such a way to make it user-friendly and helpful for you to really go to exactly what you're looking for. The videos are each under 10 minutes. They are straight to the point. They are in different categories like preparing for labor and birth, anatomy and physiology. We also have a topic list of A to Z, where if you know which topic you're looking for, you can go right there and access the topic that way and get to the video that way. Within each topic, each video, you'll find the video, and then underneath we have listed out the key points of that video. So it's giving the YouTube video a little bit of extra information. And if the topic had specific instructions for partners and dads, you'll find that under the video as well. So the Birth A to Z program is a easy organization for 100 topics. It's almost like a dictionary for birth. The third online course that's free to check out is from Lamaze, and it's the Labor Confidence online course. So I like this course because it gives you a peek into what Lamaze is all about, the Lamaze philosophy, and gives you a really brief but important understanding of having confidence for labor. So check that one out. Now, our handout resource also comes from Lamaze. I am a certified Lamaze childbirth educator, and I use these handouts in my own class. And they are also free to everyone. So it's a great free resource. So I really recommend checking these out, printing them out. If you have any questions about what you're reading on them, you can even talk to your healthcare provider about the handouts and the topics. They're very evidence-based. They also include links to further research. So if you really want to dive down deep into a topic, you can find out the research behind the handouts and the infographics that were created on the Lamaze website. So the next two resources are both podcasts. Now, there are a lot of podcasts that have to do with pregnancy and childbirth, but these are my top two that I really suggest that you check out. The first one is actually also from Dr. Nicole Rankins that I mentioned earlier about the birth plan course, and she also has a YouTube channel I'm going to link down below. In this podcast, she really tackles some great topics. There's a mix of birth stories and sort of behind the scenes on procedures like cesarean birth. There's the one on cesarean, scheduled cesarean, really gives you good insight into everything that happens in a cesarean birth. There's also information about inductions. That is an excellent podcast. So I recommend that one. The second podcast that I really like is from a doula and childbirth educator working in New York City. Her name is Lisa Taylor, and her podcast is called Birth Matters. And in this podcast, she focuses really on birth stories. So if you're someone who likes to learn from birth stories, hear about how different families navigate birth and different types of birth, check out this podcast. The title from each podcast gives you a little glimpse into what that birth story entails, what's included in that. And I think that they are great learning experiences, especially if you are, pregnant, going for a walk. Put in a birth story from the Birth Matters podcast, and you can really get some great takeaways from listening to other people's honest story and retelling of how their birth went. So one of my favorite resources that is for postpartum, so after the baby is here, is the website Postpartum Support International, so sometimes called PSI. Postpartum Support International has a lot of free resources for you after you give birth, and it's worth looking at before you give birth. There is a tool in there that you can print out for afterwards, a checklist. They have some online support groups that are worth looking into and having as a resource for after the birth. And they also have a hotline if you are experiencing any worrisome issues, or even just questioning if you might have some postpartum mood, anxiety challenges. So it's a great resource to have at your fingertips. Share this one with your partner, with your support team, anyone who is going to support after the birth. So as I mentioned in the beginning, I do have a popular resource that I want to give a little warning about. And this is online due date forums. So there are many pregnancy websites, there are many apps that include a forum, a place where you enter your due date and you have access to other people in the community that have a similar due date. In concept, I think it's great. It's great to build community and connect with other people that are going through similar challenges, same phase of life. What I've seen being in these forums is that they tend to be sometimes an alternative to talking to your care provider about concerns, and sometimes we see a little bit of amateur doctoring going on, where people are sharing advice that their doctor or their midwife gave them on a certain topic, and it doesn't feel like the best place to get information on important information. So if you want to share or connect with people over non-medical information, I think that due date forums can be a good thing to check out and experience. But if you have any type of medical issue or issue that is more serious, planning for labor and birth, it's better to go to a trained professional. So if you kind of think of it like you don't know who this person is on the other side of in the community, right? It could be someone that is actually pregnant. It could be somebody who is just likes to sit in the community and make up a due date and an experience. So I would, not take that advice seriously, and not make any decisions upon some random stranger on the internet that is in a due date forum with me. So I would go to trained professionals like your midwife, your doctor, the nurse at your care provider, doulas, childbirth educators, anybody who has been trained in this field is going to give you a more trusted and reliable answer than what you might find in a due date forum. So they're tempting and they are interesting, but take them, with that a little precaution notice. So again, the links below are to all of these resources. Let me know in the comments if there is a free resource or resource out there that you really like, that you recommend. I would love to look at it and check it out as well, and maybe give a review for a future video coming up. Thanks so much. If you found this video helpful, please share it with a friend or hit that like button, and other people that are looking for great free resources can find the video as well. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Bye guys.